This is Nazmus Imam and you are watching GetWays Solution. In this video, I am going to discuss a very good array question from LeetCode. And question goes like this: given an integer array nums sorted in non-descending order, return an array of the square of each element sorted in non-descending order. So we have a given array like -4, -1, 0, 3, and 10 having element like this. And what we have to output? We have to output a square of these element, and not directly square. We have to output a square of these element in non-descending order. So what we will do, our basic approach will be, first approach will be like we will square all these elements and store it at their respective position, and after that sort. So coding for this approach will be, we will iterate over the array and we will store a square of the element into their respective position, and after that we will sort. But if you run this code, it will get accepted and you might think that yeah, we are good to go. But the problem here is, here a follow-up is given. Squaring each element and sorting the new array is very trivial. Could you find big O of n solution using different approach? Yes, of course, we can find it. And the problem here is we are sorting the array, and sorting, the best algorithm for sorting takes n log n, has a time complexity of n log n. So obviously this is a bad code and this is not a good approach. Now we will try our approach where we will get time complexity as big O of n. So let's see how we will try that approach. We'll introduce our array. Let's say it as -4, 0. It should be the input array. Here we are taking our input array, and it should be in sorted order. So -4, 0, 1, and let's say it as 5. Okay. So now what we will do, we will introduce two pointer. Let's say this pointer as pointer left and this pointer as pointer right. And this pointer obviously will be 0 and this pointer will be n-1. In this case, n-1 is 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, and n value will be 4. So, and what we will do next, we will initialize or declare a new array. Let's name it as temp array of same length, of length n. And after this, we will, let's do it here. We will iterate over the array and we will start with I equal to n-1, and we will go till 0. And if element at left index will be greater, or let's say that element at right index will be greater, which means PR element and PR element at square of the element of right index is greater than square of the element at left index, then what we will do? What we are going to do, we are going to store the square, this square, into temp array. Temp array of I, we are going to store this square. And after doing this, we are going to decrement it. And similarly, else. Else means if PL means left pointer square, index at left pointer is greater than right, what we will do? We will do reverse of it. Temp of ARR, in temp of ARR of I, we will store PL element at left index and square of it. And what we will do? Decrement PL, increment PL, because it's 0 and we have to increment it after saving this particular element. And after this, doing this whole thing, what we will do? Return temp array, right? So this will be our whole approach. Now I will go step by step. At index 0, what will happen? At index 1, what will happen? At index 2, what will happen? We'll see step by step. When I is 0, what will happen? When I is 0, oh, here I is not starting with 0. Here I is starting with what index? I is starting at index 3, n-1. You see, we are iterating from n-1 to 0. So when I is 3, what will happen? We will see I is 3, and where is PR? PR is also 3. So 3, we have to square the element at index 3. Element at index 3 is 5, right? And element at index 0. PL is pointing now where? At index 0. Element at index 0 is -4. So square of -4. Is 25 greater than 16? Yes, of course, it is greater than 16. So in our temp array, here is our temp array, 0, 1, 2, and index 3. In our temp array at index 3, what will get stored? 25, right? PR square. And what will happen? to this pointer, PR pointer, it will get decremented. Now it will point here. Let's use another color for clear indication. Now it will point here. Now in next step, what will happen? In next step, when index become 2, what will happen? When index become 2, see here, when index become 2, now our PR is pointing at second index. It is 1. 1 into 1 greater than, and PL is still pointing at 0th index. Is 1 greater than 16? No. So this time control will come to else. And here, what we are storing? PL, element at 0th index, square of element at 0th index at ith position. And now I is 2. So second position, we will store 16, 25, and then 16. And remaining 2 positions are here. Now what will happen at first index? At first index, what we have? Now again, what we will do? We will first square PR. Now PR, what will happen at this second step? PL get incremented. Now PL point to here. Now PR square is 1 and PL square is 0. Is 1 greater than 0? Yes, it is greater than 0. So 1 will get stored here at this point of time. 1, 16 and 25 watts. Now at index 0, what will happen? After this step, PR will get incremented. PR and PL both point to which position? Point to same position. 0 equal to 0. And is 0 greater than 0? No. So else will get executed and we will store PL into PL, which is 0. So our final array is 0, 1, 16 and 25. And this is something which we required. So, and at 0th index, of course, our loop will break out and we will return the value. So this is the thing which we required. So I think this is clear now. Now we will code for it. It become quite dusty. Why? Okay, let's see the code. We'll proceed similarly. It become quite unreadable, but what we can do. Okay, we have to introduce 2 pointer. Now I will clear this screen. If you didn't understand there, you can understand here also. It's quite easy. We'll introduce 2 pointer. Left pointer, which will be 0 of course, and right pointer, whose value will be nums.length -1, and we'll iterate over the array, and we will introduce one new array. Let's call it as temp array, and it will be of course int array only, int array, and size will be similar to our nums.length, new int of nums.length. Yeah, now we will iterate over our temp array for I equal to 0, I less than nums.length and I plus plus. So first thing what we will do, we will compare if nums of PR into nums of PR greater than nums of PL into nums of PL. So if this condition is true, what we will do, we will execute 2 statements, and the statement will be temp array of I equal to this. Hence what will happen, and after executing this statement, what we have to do, we have to decrement PR so that pointer will change to previous. And now what we will happen, what we will do, else I will copy this. Instead of PR, we have to store PL, and after storing, we have to increment PL, and that's it. And if you see the time complexity of this particular solution, it's O of n, big O of n. We are not using any extra, we are using extra space also here. So space complexity will also be O of n, big O of n. But time complexity we have also big O of n, which is a requirement of this question. So at last, what we are going to do, return our temp array. Hopefully it will work. Now let's see. Temp array is temp ARR. First we will run for seeing that any error. Yeah, we have error PR. Can't find. Okay. We have terminated it. Yeah, here is comma. We are doing in ulta order. Why? Okay, it's our for loop which is creating this mess. I have written here correctly, but while coding I forgot about it. I should be less than equal to 0 and I minus minus. Now it will work hopefully. Now I will directly submit. I have full confidence that it will get accepted. Yo, oh, what's going on, man? I should be greater than equal to 0. Yeah, my confidence broke. Yeah, it get accepted now. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you will not mind to subscribe and share this video. Of course, it has plenty of mistakes.